Hey guys, and welcome back to MDTV. Today's topic is going to be all about colorism, featureism, discrimination, plus many more. So make sure you stay tuned in. But yeah, before we just start, I'm actually happy all of you guys are here, and I was very selective in handpicking who I wanted. I actually had this idea to do this, and then tell them what happened, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, the one time I was sitting down and I was like, yeah, I just feel like you need to have a conversation about this. And yeah, I think we.
No, but it's crazy. No, me and Stephanie were speaking, and I must have messaged her like catching up on live, and I said to her in a VN, I want to do a colorist talk, but she didn't hear it. Then she randomly messaged me like maybe 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and I was like, I just had a random feeling that I think you should talk on this.
And I was like, listen to the VN I sent because I literally said that.
Yeah.
So you know them ones where I feel like God just wanted it to happen because why would Stephanie have the idea? I should listen to my VN and she just told me to do it. So I picked you guys selectively because I feel like you're all very vocal. You have your own experiences, and I want this to be a very flowing conversation. We respect each other's views. Remember, my experience will be different to Naomi's experience. Your experience will be different to Elena's experience because we're just all different. To start us off, maybe Naomi, you can start us off. What are your early recollections of like colorism in your childhood, social settings of school? How were you introduced to it or you realised it was a thing?
I would say from about, I want to say like 8 or 9. So I remember being in school and this boy told me I looked like poo. And I didn't really, you guys can laugh, trust me. It's funny now anyway. But yeah, and like, to me then, I remember running home to my dad like, and he was like, he kind of just brushed it off. So it kind of, to me, I was very much confused from young because at school, around friends, it was like, you know, your skin's this, you're that. But then when it came to like family, it was like, don't bleach, don't do this, don't do that. So it's very conflicting, you know, but yeah, it's pretty much.
Okay.
So my experience of colorism is a bit different. I'm aware of it. It's a very much real thing, and I, you know, have people close to me who have experienced it, whether it be reversed or, you know, direct. But me personally, I don't feel like I've actually fully experienced it for myself, if that makes sense.
Even from when you were young?
Yeah, I don't. Do you know what it is? I wouldn't really call it colorism for me personally, because I just feel like I went to school in an area, like when I was in primary school, I went to school in an area that was predominantly white. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be colorism, because colorism is more of
from
your own ethnic background. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I didn't experience that. And I feel like when I did go into secondary school now, I feel like our generation, I feel like we really did go through that whole change of where being black became beautiful.
Right.
And being like, you know, acceptable. So I feel like I haven't personally experienced colorism. I know what it is and it's very real, and I don't, you know, stand for it or support it. But me personally, I don't feel like I've experienced it. Yeah, that's my experience.
But if you say you haven't experienced it, we're all African here, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys not think, or have you not seen that sometimes like in households, there is a favour upon a lighter skinned child or something? Like, for example, some aunties look incredibly lighter than their kids and stuff. So households that I've seen, like some auntie be like, oh, she's so light, but obviously in my language, and like looking at her, touching her hair, it is favoured, and I feel like that's something that I feel like people should act like, don't try to belittle it because it does happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely in African households or just a culture, being light to some people is a big thing, or it's something you should boast about. And if you are darker, the treatment, or you even told, blah, or something, do you know what I mean? Can anyone, you know?
But I don't, like I said, I don't feel like I've experienced that, because you know my siblings, we're all around the same colour, my parents are around the same colour. I haven't experienced that. Colorism is something that I've experienced in the, like, not experienced myself, but I've seen in the African community, especially the Nigerian community. I feel like a lot of people feel like, you know, being fairer skinned is beautiful. You know, you see people doing all types of stuff to their skin just to look, you know, appear fairer. But me personally, I haven't experienced it, no.
So Grace and Stephanie, what has been your understanding from when you were young? What things did you probably sort of see that made you realise, okay, I'm lighter and it favours me in a sense? But if your experience is different, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would definitely say that I was very, very aware of colorism, especially because I grew up in an African household. So my dad's white English, and he's the only white person in the house. But my grandma raised us, my mum was there, her siblings came, so it was a predominantly African household. And yeah, I would just say that we were like the favourite cousins. In like, if the aunties will come, they'll always compliment us. Like, we just always knew it. Like, I can't explain it, but my mum was very determined to not let it like get to us. I can't explain that. She always, so like, the culture that I'm from in Sierra Leone is very, very like strong. So I'm from a tribe called Mende, and they're very like, speak the language, eat the food. So regardless of like the favoritism that was shown, she always reminded me like, you're a Sierra Leone girl. So I feel like she never really enabled any sort of like.
Used to be like boastful.
Yeah, literally, that.
Me personally, I just feel like I don't think I acknowledged colorism until I maybe went to secondary school. I think maybe it happened around me, and now that I think of it, as I've grown up, like aunties definitely did favour me. Now that I think about it, but at the time, I never realised I was in a place where, because my cousin's a bit darker than me, like we're treated differently, or I never acknowledged their statements of like, oh, you're so beautiful, or your skin colour is so. I've definitely heard aunties and people definitely say, and my parents, like my skin colour is generational basically. So like some of my aunties are very light, but then some part of my family is very dark. But both of my parents are not light or light brown, they're quite dark brown. So I think the most I'd ever hear about my skin colour is like, I hear jokes that I'm adopted, for example, when I was younger, because my siblings, I'm literally the only sibling that is this colour. Do you get what I'm saying? But I never acknowledged it. I feel like I was in my own little world. Do you get what I mean? I feel like I just started realising it as I started growing up. Like, as I started getting into secondary school, and maybe even more now.
So what happened in like secondary school that made you realise, oh, might be a thing?
Do you know what it is? I feel like my skin colour is such a confusing segment of colorism, because it's like I'm faired, but I'm not super light. Sometimes I'm super light, but like, do you know what it is? I feel like a lot of my friends always have this argument whether I'm light skinned or not. So some people think I'm light brown and some people think I'm light skinned. So it's almost like I'm light enough to not feel colorism, but I'm not light enough to not feel it. It's such a for me, it's such a confusing aspect. Like when, for example, say there's like a line of like brown skinned girls to light skinned girls, I'm such in that middle range where like it's like it did happen and it didn't happen at the same time. That's how I've experienced it, I'll say.
Okay. So Elena, I think your story is a bit different, but you've definitely suffered from discrimination and prejudice. So do you want to explain a bit like what are sort of the things that you've had to deal with from when you were younger, or things that you still deal with now? Because obviously you are a black woman, but I think I watched one of the videos and some people didn't even identify you as black.
I think one key experience or something that my parents did tell me from what happened when I was younger is that when like going to different countries, they would kind of ask my mum, because I would normally travel with my mum, they would ask my mum for my birth certificate, because obviously we look with two different skin tones, right?
Oh, wow.
And obviously I look like my mum in the face, but it's one of them ones where it's like, okay, cool. So just because I have a lighter complexion or whatever, if you're not aware of what albinism is, then you kind of get into this whole like weird energy about it, and then you kind of get that. I think some other experiences that I've had, I think like people telling me that like I need to fit into one box, like saying that I'm not black enough or that I can't be black or there's no way that I can be within the culture because I don't have darker skin. And it's like genuinely in my blood I am a black woman, and it's like one of those ones where I would have to prove myself a little bit more. And I think I grew up in a very like white area, so that did kind of have effects on the way that I spoke or the way that I put myself forward. But I think obviously now growing up and going to uni, I think I've kind of come into my own, and with having albinism as well, I think I've matured a lot more than kind of like the average person. And I think that like it's a difficult one. I think just trying to live my life the way that I need to in order to like be true to myself and true to who I am and my journey, and just, you know, spreading awareness. I think that's definitely like a whole big like amalgamation of different things in terms of like my experiences and what I've kind of gone through.
Wow. So like what things would you say like daily that you probably like still have to, and how did you kind of like build your confidence up to probably where it is now? And I'm probably sure you're still like building it up because you go through things every day.
Do you know what it is? It's one of them ones where like I personally in my head I always check in and out of having albinism. So it's like, oh, I'll just go about my day. then one day I'll be like, oh, I'm so different from everybody else. But it's because I've kind of gotten used to it. I've been like, okay, cool, I've got my own stuff to do. I'm not going to let it stop me. But I think there was one experience that I had where like it stopped me in my tracks, and it like made me like, this is actually quite sad to say, but it made me kind of go back to when I was a child, and I would say like, oh, I wish I'd never had albinism. I wish I looked normal. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. And having that kind of mentality and that coming back to you as an adult is quite scary, because you do think, oh, that happened when I was younger. I've kind of grown from that. But that kind of childhood trauma coming back up now, I think it stopped me in my tracks, and it did set me back on like my journey in terms of like healing and all that kind of stuff there. So I think in terms of like my day to day, I don't really acknowledge it, but you know, certain situations might bring out a different kind of aspect to it.
Thank you for like opening up, because I know you don't have to do that, and it's a bit like heavy or hard for you. But I'm just gonna quickly like go back to what we were saying. So are we all aware that colorism actually does exist? Can we all like say that it does exist?
Yeah.
And cool. So before I go back to like Jasmine and Naomi, Stephanie and Grace, would you guys say that you have? Because I feel like personally for me, I'm trying to host, but I'm not trying to put my opinions a bit too much. But personally for me, I feel like sometimes people who are lighter, they know that they are favourable, so they like play with it in the sense that like they, what's the word I'm using for? Like, you know, if you know that because I saw some basic girl on TikTok was talking about how she went out to the bar and she was a dark skinned friend, and I think her boy brought a bottle. Sorry, I'm just using that as an example. And then she basically thought it was for her, but it was just like, no, it's for the other girl. But like some people who are like lighter, they kind of favour it in the sense that like they would
use it as a privilege.
Perfect. That's what I'm using, and that's okay, because you should all listen. I'm not saying love your skin color, but in the sense, if you're using their privilege at expense of something else, I think that is a bit problematic. But do you agree that has happened? The same
thing with pretty privilege then.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, no, talk your truth.
So yeah, I definitely.
Jasmine, like, don't come and slap me, you know. Me, I'm speaking for the people.
Yeah,
you're gonna beat me.
I definitely do agree that like light skin privilege, like it's definitely a thing, and it definitely does exist. I would say that whether or not an individual capitalizes off of it is down to that person. And I have had friends in the past that like they are also mixed race, and they have a mindset that is different to mine. But I think that also stems from environment and culture. I think that a lot of kids, I don't want to stereotype, but I think there is a difference when your mum is black and when your mum is white. And the reason why I say that is because, for example, I'm a girl and my mum's a woman, so that's ideally the person that I look to. Right. So it's like her first-hand struggles, her first-hand views, her everything about her is what she placed onto me and what she's like taught me. So I feel like I never really grew up like practicing privilege because of being light skinned. Like, my mum always told me every day that I'm beautiful, but she never said to me like, oh, my beautiful like light skinned baby or something. Like it was very much like, you're so pretty, like look at your face. Like it was like more like the actual way I look. So if anything, I'll say like, yeah, I'm aware that pretty privilege probably for me is something that I might manipulate. Rather, I don't think I've ever gone into a situation and thought like, I'm light skinned and this is gonna work for me. I've just thought like, I'm pretty and this will probably work. Yeah. But
I would say that is true. But I would also say maybe it's your upbringing as well. Maybe just use you as a person, because some people, as you say, would capitalize. Yeah,
there was a TikTok the other day that was trending. Actually, it was actually quite funny because my sister sent it to me and we're just like, this is just funny. But yeah, like there was a guy, I think he was doing like podcasts on the street. I don't know if you guys saw it. And
the little girl.
There was some little girl, like the girl probably like 16, 17, like, and I think they asked her a question and she said like, she answered and
she's basically saying
like being light skinned is a flex. And he was like, wait, did you just say being light skinned is a flex? And she's like, yeah, like it's a flex, like we get all the man. Or she said something like that.
And that is like, and that's what I was saying to you, not to cut you off, Stephanie, but I feel like that starts from early secondary school.
But that's what I mean by environment, what you're showing.
Like, no, you can speak in a second. Go on.
But obviously, yeah, like
say it because I feel like that starts from early.
I was gonna go back about what you said initially. I personally feel like, obviously, colorism definitely exists as an issue, but I just feel like if you use your colour as a privilege or a gateway, I don't really see nothing wrong with that personally, because because it's just like, if like, I say, I don't know what way to put it in, but it's just like,
I agree.
If let's use like a party, for example. If I know that my skin colour can get me and my friends into a party, why should I be upset?
But you're not being upset. That's totally fine. But I feel like if you're using that expense of something else and trying to belittle people, and I feel like then that is a problem.
But I'm saying,
Jasmine, talk, because you're gonna slap us.
Every single privilege is at something's expense.
Right.
That's why it's a privilege.
That's why it's a privilege.
Okay, fair.
Do you understand? Like, being pretty, whatever standard of pretty it is, someone else is on the other end of the spectrum.
But I don't think that your privilege should make you think you're better than others.
No, that's not what makes
the little, okay, maybe she's a little girl. She has growing to do. But saying like,
forget that for a moment. Like, initially you said at an expense. So like, let's focus on the expense. But for example, if like some quote unquote pretty privilege, if there's people in a queue and like they've taken you from like the back of the queue or the middle of the queue and like your 6 friends and have skipped everyone and you've gone in there, like that, the people that are in the queue, that's their expense. Do you understand? But I'm just gonna be genuine. Like, I'm not gonna be in a queue. They're gonna take me. I'm gonna see about 7 people say, no, you know what? Because you lot are not my colour, I have to go to the back. I'm not doing that.
I understand what you guys are saying. I feel like it's the fact of the matter of like it being why you're getting taken.
I understand that. I understand the factor, and I understand
and how
the issue,
you
but I
as
just
a
feel
person,
like
you're
100%. But I just feel I understand that that's the issue, but they created that issue, and I'm not endorsing the issue, but it's benefit. But it's like because you're not getting in. Just say you came somewhere before me, and I get in before you. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, I'm not trying to say it in a rude way, but like, it's not, personally for me, it's not the end of the world that I got in before.
I feel like I completely understand what you're saying, but the example is very minute to like the real world.
So
you get what I mean?
I don't think it is minute because let's be honest, like, I don't even want to start getting into these conversations, but
no, you ought to. I bought the space. We ought to. You already done my dance. I ought to.
Most of the times when we like, obviously it's a large scale. It's a big thing. It is a huge thing, and it is disgusting to know that sometimes, you know, you might not get the job because of your skin color, or you might not be able to, you know, live your dream because of your skin color.
Yeah.
But realistically, on a day-to-day basis, you're upset because of minute things.
Okay.
I didn't get into the club, or the footballers are not looking at me, or I'm trying to say that is the reality of it.
And do you know what my thing is? The footballers are not looking at whoever they don't look at, but that's their problem. You understand? I'm not going to be upset for their issue. Do you understand?
And this is why I like you so much, because we're about to jump into that. But just to interject quickly, that's the thing. When we were speaking earlier, I don't care when it comes to like men football and stuff like that. We go where we're celebrated. So it's not like we're them girls that like, I feel like we're very logged on. I don't need to cry about, you know, when like they put a football up with lights and people are commenting, I can't do this anymore. I genuinely wish they can block them. I skip it because I don't care, because I go where I'm celebrated. I've never had to think, oh my gosh, no boy likes me. No, because to me, I actually think boys like me. Like, I don't even see that anything else, because
even in that
I go where I'm wanted.
Even in that context, like if you actually understand the depths of why most black footballers are with white women, it's not because they seen a white woman on the street. It's because when everyone's in libs, black women may be going to libs to have fun, but some white women are going with a plan. Like, some people are 17 looking for a future from long time. Like, not everyone's sitting down in the queue for libs because I just want to go AAA. Some people are trying to find their footballers and settle down. So if a woman's forcing herself on you, and that's like now become say you're a footballer, that's your thing now. Like, a lot of us marry white women. When a white woman's going to come along, you're going to fall, like, men fall into that. But that's nothing to me. Like, footballers, that's all irrelevant. Yeah. I just feel like people try to make, not everyone, but a lot of people try to make lighter women want to like be upset or be angry or like pay a price for something that we didn't create. Or like, for example, like, brown skin, like Beyonce. I'll never forget, Beyonce made a song called Brown Skin Girl, and Danny Lee made a song called Light Skin Girl, and she got shattered for it to the point where she had to delete the song off YouTube. But why can't she make a song called Light Skin Girl?
And I totally get that, because as I said, we do not care, but
Yellowbone.
Yeah, Yellowbone. But do you know, I feel like it's what comes with it. It's because people that really want something to say was think, oh, you're saying Yellowbone, you're trying to put yourself above, like, that's just inherent of things that have actually occurred. I think, sorry, Elaine, I think you did a video once with someone saying about, like, I think you said a story about a guy approached you, and I think because he couldn't believe that you were black, because you're light, but was he not familiar with albinism, or did he try like favour you because you were even a lighter tone? What was your...
So it was one of these ones, so I was at an event and he'd like come up to me and he was like, oh, like, you have to be mixed. And I was like, no, like, it's just albinism, it's not... And I was like, It's just albinism. It's nothing too crazy. I just didn't get the software update. Like my melanin just didn't come. That's it. That's literally it. So he like kept on telling me, nah, you have to be mixed. And it's like, I've just told you, so why can't you like
accept it?
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I couldn't. It was one of those ones where, because somebody was telling me or like forcing their own like vision or like narrative of what they thought I was, I felt a bit uncomfortable, because it's like, I've just told you what I am and what the condition is, and at the end of the day, that shouldn't really be my job. Like, I feel like people need to kind of educate and
But do you feel like, have you actually ever experienced like, because you are black, obviously your skin tone's lighter, but have you ever felt like favoured? Have you had an experience like that? Or is it because people just be like, oh, what colour are you actually? Do you know how's your experience with that?
I think if you're not aware of what albinism is, a lot of people do think that I am mixed or light skinned. So I do think that kind of all the adverse effects that comes with that comes into play. But if you are aware of what albinism is, I feel like people just see me as like your average black girl.
I honestly believe, like, as much as I said, with me, I do care about colorism, but I don't allow it to get to me, because I'm confident within myself, whether it be for job, whatever, like, I'm still going to get all the things that I want to get. I don't care what colour I am.
100%.
But I definitely do believe that as a society, not all, but some, being darker skinned as a females, it's kind of not hard, but like there's certain things that it's kind of against you. Even like when a darker skin, like for example, let's bring it to the music industry. People be every single time when Ice Spice puts something, like she's amazing in it, but people always be comparing her to like, let's say Flo Milli. I don't even listen to Flo Milli, but apparently Flo Milli should be higher than this. And like when you kind of look at it, all the dark skin girls, it's kind of higher. It's kind of harder in a sense for them to get a bit higher than others. Like if. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's something we shouldn't act like it doesn't exist though.
Yeah,
that's the only thing with me. Please, it may not be how you think it, but it does exist. And as I said to you earlier, I feel like black beauty has to work 10 times harder, which we'll get into in a second. And I feel like a dark-skinned woman probably has to do a bit more to be kind of be respected or be out there, unless you've been established. But do you get what I mean? Like if a dark-skinned girl came in the industry now to do music, it's not.
No, but do you know what it is? I feel like it does exist 1,000%. We're not taking that away from no one, but like. Example, Ice Spice and Flo Milli, there's so much...
I don't listen to Flo,
but
by the
there's
way.
so much, like, musicians, for example, there's so much people that make music, do you understand? And not everyone is going to get where they want to get to, unfortunately. Ice Spice came with a different type of sound, for example. She's not that great to me, but, like, she came with a different type of sound, and people enjoyed it. Because if we're going to talk about, like, Ice Spice and Flo Milli, Sexy Red is literally doing great right now, do you understand? And she's a dark woman, do you understand? And I feel like because she came with a different kind of sound as well. Like Flo Milli, I don't really listen to her, but I'm so sure she fits in another category where a lot of women kind of rap that way. Right. So it's maybe where she doesn't stand out. But I do feel like one of the issues is people are going to take away, I don't think she's that great of an artist, but people will take away her art, Ice Spice's art, because she's light skinned, when it's simply because she made a tune that we can all flex with. Do you understand? Or she made a song that goes with a bigger community or a certain type of community. But of course, colorism exists. Of course, it's a thing. But I just feel like there's some little eeny-meeny pointers that are just dragged.
I love Jasmine talk.
Because you know it is like, I just feel like...
Put them out,
sorry, I just feel like... I feel like a lot of things. I just feel like, what the issue is comparison. That's the issue. I feel like the issue stems from comparison.
But that is
like,
what colorism even stems from.
Exactly. Like, comparison, I feel like, it's obviously it's easier said than done. Like, but if we all stop comparing people, like, for example, comparing Flo Milli to Ice Spice, they are from two different states, two different type of music, two different types of what's it called audience. Like Ice Spice giving, like, she's like giving, I don't know, like she's giving sex, giving let me show my bum, like naturally. I'm trying to say, like, I just feel like we just need to take things for what they are sometimes.
That doesn't mean Flo Milli's not giving sexy. Because the problem is people are going to like say that if someone had to take something from that, they're going to say, so what were we saying? Flo
She's
Milli's
not sexy.
Yeah, no, and
she's sweet,
honestly, I think she's even tired of the debate. The girl, any new person that comes in, they just use her name and be like, she should be there.
No, but
leave me alone.
I just feel like we're always comparing, like, everyone's truth is different. Colorism is real, like, and it's not okay. But I just feel like sometimes it's so easy for us to attribute, like, maybe not being accepted or maybe not being preferred to our skin color. I feel like a lot of, like, God, like, please take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt, but I feel like naturally, as black people, I'm talking about black people as a whole now, brown skin, light skin, dark skin, like everyone. I'm just saying, as black people in history, we have been victims.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
take
feel
it
like
there.
being victims we've
mentality.
adopted victim mentality. Sometimes
Go on.
sometimes I'm so sorry, like I'm just saying this. I feel like sometimes sometimes you're just not good enough. Like I'm talking about the job now. Like let's say like for example, like you've gone for a job interview and you haven't got the job, but you're not thinking about maybe I'm underqualified, maybe I was a bit too shy, maybe I'm just not what they're looking for. But like it's easy for us to like go to
and I feel like that's a good, what you said is really black and white with what you said, but the reality is a lot of the reason why, I'm not no historian in it and I wasn't alive when they were alive, but what I'm trying to say, a lot of the reasons why things are how it is now is due to our past. So as much as you can say victim mentality, we have been victims, and unfortunately some of the things that have happened in the past are still kind of going on from now. That's why, let's say aunties, I would say, look lighter than their children, because it starts from, this has all started from time ago. History, I don't know, colonialism, it started from so back then, but we are still kind of suffering from it now. That's why light a fair woman is like, oh, so beautiful. This started from back then. So yes, there's certain things, let's be real, like if I know I haven't studied for something, like I didn't really apply well for this job, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, they didn't want me because I'm not dumb. Like we don't think like that.
No, we don't.
Well, yeah, the people that think like that grow up.
Do.
But then again, we can't sit here and say a lot of things that happen in society color, like it doesn't, how do I say it? Like you basically said like, oh, victim. Yes, sometimes some people can be victims, but there's certain things that do go in is as a result of colorism as well. But
sure. I feel like, anyways, my main point was just the comparison thing. I feel like where people keep on comparing people is where now we can start talking about, like Stephanie said, colorism is literally comparing. Like it stemmed from comparison. Like, okay, fairer skinned people should be more preferred and the X, Y, and Z. But I feel like, just comparison is a thief of joy. Like literally, like stop the comparison, and I feel like life will be a bit more easier. I'm saying stop the comparison, like everyone's gonna stop the comparison. Of course they're not. Like, but I just feel like just
that should be a starting. Yeah,
that's a starting, like a starting point.
What were you gonna say?
It's gone. I'll be so raw.
Sorry,
But let's run it. It'll come back.
I'm so happy we're having these conversations, but my days, they're so draining.
It is draining.
Boring.
That's why I don't talk.
Not boring. Like as in I don't want to be here.
They're nowhere near boring, and I think we need to have them in order for change to happen. But I feel like in every single point that's being made, it's like there's always a counter argument. Like the thing is, this is actually my analogy, right? And I feel like I'm not talking for the general population, like. But I feel like my experience as a mixed race person, is very different to a lot of other people, simply because like I come from a situation where I see mum and dad as mum and dad, not black mum, white dad. Like my parents are in love, they're happy, they're still married. I live with both of them. I see how both mentalities come into play. I see how both mentalities come into play at times, and like I think the word victim mentality is the wrong word, because we are like historically victims. We've been, it's through indoctrination, it's through 100%. A lot of things, you know what I mean? And I feel like we can never ever reverse that. But I feel like what our generation lacks to understand is that we are so privileged to be woke. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, having these conversations weren't taking place, like these type of conversations weren't taking place like 50 years ago. People were going on how they were going just off of emotions, or even 100 years ago. I don't think they didn't. I feel
like it wasn't like.
I feel like the terminology is like indoctrination. People because 100 years ago slavery was still going on. Do you know what I mean?
They were having these conversations.
Within, of course, no, they were having it with, but they were probably upset about like their prejudice and how they're feeling. They're probably like expressing their feelings, because you can obviously see when you're being treated like disgustingly, you're gonna like speak about that.
Like we said, colorism stems from slavery, right? Of course. The mulattoes or the light-skinned people were put in the big house, and whilst the darker people were working.
No, but you're missing my point in what I'm trying to say.
Where do you think they're gonna go and sit down in the panel and say, boom, boom, white?
Yeah, that's what they do. No, the point that I'm trying to make.
We weren't there, innit? But like from the movies that I see, they had like
they were aware of it.
They were aware of it, but to be able to, but even if they were aware of it, they couldn't really speak on it.
Yeah, they couldn't.
They couldn't do anything because now we have an opportunity. Now we have spaces. Now we have spaces and opportunities that we can sit down and speak. Back then they can't do that. They just do whatever they're doing.
The reason why I brought up my point in regards to my background, because I feel like that's what even made you reach out to me, because I feel like just through what am I losing my voice, like my words, sorry, just due to like texturism and other things, I feel like I've gone my life black passing unintentionally. Yeah. Because I remember you actually said to me, like, Steph, I actually forget you have a white dad.
Yeah, I do.
I was just like,
literally do.
Everyone does. And the thing is, like, it's so funny because like Hannah always says, Hannah's not on the panel, my friend. She always says to me, like, you're like one of the only like mixed race people that I know that doesn't like put it in our faces. And I was like,
No, literally, no, you
what
can
do
actually
mean
read it
by
wrong.
that? And I was just like,
You don't make it like a
because
personality
it's
trait.
real, because I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? That, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like I can't explain it, but yeah, that's why when I talk about mixed race people that do have this sort of like superior complex and this ideology only solely based off of their skin color, I honestly believe that it's environment and it's what you've been taught. It's how you've capitalized off of what you've been treated. Because like I am 50-50 of each. Do you know what I mean? Like I love them both equally and I see both of their views. And going off of what Jasmine did say, there is some truth in it. I'm not gonna lie to you, because we are woke now. Do you know what I mean? Like we do know that some people will know, yeah, they have a job interview, but they will do like. This conversation is not going to be nice, innit? But their stereotypical things are already placed on our community. Can we all agree with that?
Facts.
The people say we're late, right? You know you have a job interview. You're late. You're proving them right before you've even got there.
Literally.
They don't give you the job. They're racist. Oh, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. Like we're aware of certain things, and I feel like.
But remember, let's not. I don't want to train off like us to rail off. But remember, colorism. When we're talking, you're basically talking to other people. Then, but we're just talking within our communities most. Because the colorism affects people that look like so I don't want to tell us to trail off sort of thing, but we do in fact we already have problems with the outside, but within ourselves there's even problems as well.
But with what she's saying, for example, forget like I feel like a lot of things with colorism where like there's issues is in environments where, for example, colorism in the workplace is very different from colorism in the club. I feel like people focus on people are upset about colorism in places that are kind of like not made to acknowledge it. Do you understand? So you hear like a club, for example, doesn't like dark-skinned women, for example, or you hear the stereotype, like the things that they say about clubs that, oh, they're not this club, they don't really like girls that wear afros or and not saying that I've seen anyone do that, but like if you want to go to that club
and you know
they don't allow afros.
Why would you
either don't go to that club or don't wear the afro? It's not even. No, I'm not even saying it in no kind of way. That place is not a place. It's not a safe space for you. It's not a place that's trying to make you feel comfortable.
Again, going where you're celebrated, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
do you know what the issue is with that though? There's not a lot of places.
God forbid. You see what you just said? You see what you just said? There's not a lot of places for that. The issue is there is a lot of places, but you lot don't. Not you lot. They don't want to go there.
Yeah. No. Do you know what the issue is? Like, no, I completely get it, but it's like it doesn't take away the fact that they can't be in that space because of that. Do you get what I mean?
No, I'm not saying they can't be in that space. I'm okay. For example,
not that they can't. Sorry, let me rephrase that. As in, like, it's not a nice thing to feel like, let me just not go.
But I'm saying that place is not a safe space.
No, 100%. But that's the problem.
I know, but I understand that's the problem. But like, you see a career, for example. If you have a career, like you grow up, I want to be a doctor. If now you come in an environment where they say light-skinned doctors get a higher pay than brown-skinned doctors, I understand because that's like I've grown up and I want to be a doctor.
You're talking about things that make sense.
I'm saying stupid stuff like being in tape for 4 hours and then like I'm angry because I can't.
No,
like, you know what I mean?
You see me
do?
personally,
Like,
that's not my biggest issue.
No, I'm not saying that's
100%.
I've actually experienced
I
going
hate
to tape with a girl that's dark skinned. She wore an orange dress, and I saw the woman at the door say, she pointed at her and said no. Do you understand? If that was me personally, I'm never going there again.
No, 100%.
Do you understand? But people want to change that woman's like viewpoint. She's in the club, they're drinking Hennessy. Why do you think she actually genuinely cares if you think you're upset that your dress is orange? Do you know what I'm saying? That I feel like we should focus about things like things that matter.
What would you say matters?
Your career, for example, your livelihood, like that kind of thing. Those matter. Like I feel like making like a big topic on tape or Libertine or them kind of clubs with like footballers or X, Y, and Z. I just feel like it's not.
It doesn't matter, but it is running. It's like you still kind of want to have fun.
Of course,
I think it's important, but it's just like you still want to be in certain spaces.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So, but then
why would you want to be in tape if you know not? I need to stop saying tape. But
do you guys see me go to club?
No,
I don't go to club.
No,
if I go to club, I'm on the table, which means I'm definite entry. I don't get up and go to the club for my birthday. If I go to a club, I'm always on the table.
You know what?
I want security.
I feel like
I don't like embarrassment. Number one, that's me. I can't take embarrassment. Sorry,
if I'm not on the table.
I only go if I'm on the table. I should have the. When I get to the door, I should say, "Mariam Diaby." They come. I don't go to the club just because I want to have a fun night out.
Get escorted from outside.
Oh no, please. But what I'm trying to, it actually has happened. But I'm just saying that I don't really go to the club as well, but I feel like maybe from young I've always had like thinking, oh, they don't really like darker skinned ladies. So me, I say I respect myself.
But
if I go to the club, if there's no table, well, I'm not going. Like, don't even.
100%. But it's like, you know,
I feel like that's normal. That everyone.
That's
should-
yeah. You know, like for example, footballers. You know how we always hear they're like white women. I kid you not, guys. When I'm around footballers, I tend to have this stush idea. Like I don't even like talking to them. Do you understand? Like because I'm not saying like it's me like prejudging them, like because me and you had a conversation, but I'm actually putting in my head you like white women or da. If you come across like nice and like cool, we can have a conversation. But around, because I know that's a thing, I don't encourage it. I don't put myself around people who they're gonna start telling me about white people. I'm not interested in that. Do you understand? So I'm just saying that in environments that are not like your lifestyle, that's really important. Why are we actually trying to make a change?
So how do you guys feel? Do you believe that if you're a darker skinned black person that Eurocentric features make you more appealing, or is that what's desired as nice? And you want to start us off, Jasmine, with that?
I feel like sometimes that not for me personally, my beauty standard is not like that, but I mean for some people that is the case. But then I don't know what you call it, but like for example, like there's some women, like I'm trying to think. There's this like Sudanese model.
Who?
I don't know what she looks.
Oh, she's really dark.
She's really
dark.
dark.
You thought?
Yeah.
No,
Is it her?
it's not dark.
But she's one of them anyways. But like
Lupita?
she's
I know you're talking about this.
I know who you're talking about.
There's
Aku.
those of them. Anyways, those
There's
type
Zara
of
model
girls.
looking girl. Yeah.
I don't think they have Eurocentric features. They are just beautiful.
Okay.
Dark.
Mwah. This is why I love
And
you so
they're
much.
just like
Yeah, they don't have Eurocentric features, but what they do have is I feel like for you to kind of be, is either you're extremely dark and they now use you because, you know, when you see a dark person, a proper dark, you'll stop. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's like it sounds weird, yeah, but it's just like they idealize that. So when you're really, really dark, you become like, you should be put in a museum. Do you get what I mean? I know what I'm talking about. Like,
it's just like,
that's why.
what's wrong with it? That's what
No,
I'm
there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it's just like, is it only because I didn't have to describe it?
But then it's like,
Okay.
but then it's like, is it only because you're light skinned that you're nice? Is it only because you're brown? This is the issue.
Okay, cool.
Because you know when you're really, really dark, you know when you're light skin, when you're brown skin, when you're white, when you're really, really dark, all your features are different. Say we all have the same features. If she was light skin, brown skin, and I was really, really dark, with all the same features, I think we'll all still look different.
And I think that the lighter person will be favoured, and that's my opinion.
I'm talking about the dark skin person now. Why they're so different? Because they're so dark, so their features look different. I don't see.
Because I'm real. I say the reality. It's the truth. But why I can say the reality is because I'm confident with myself, so I don't cry at night about this. I don't think to myself, no man's ever gonna love me. Or I don't think to myself, wow, I'm so. Maybe when I was younger, I definitely felt like I love being black, but I always used to think I'm actually just darker. Like, why can't I just be like the normal black? I don't have to describe it. I just always felt like I was darker, only because, for example, my hands are extremely light than I wear makeup now, but my hands are extremely light than my face. But what I was gonna say, oh God, what was I gonna say?
We was talking about Ducky,
Eurocentric features.
But I personally feel like, and I was saying earlier, but you guys can agree or disagree, Naomi. Don't you feel as though if you're a black woman or darker black woman, that your beauty, I'm not saying, because Jasmine was basically saying no about, not saying that I have to work 10 times harder, but your beauty will kind of have to work 10 times harder. When people think of proper, pretty dark-skinned girls, like, would you guys say Ryan Destiny's dark-skinned? Yeah. Like, them Ryan Destiny, them Justine Scott. Yeah, you kind of need to look a certain way or certain, like Jasmine, I'll use the example. You have a certain appearance, like your body, your face, like, you look a certain way that you kind of need to kind of look like you to be like, oh, she's so pretty and stuff. That, personally, for me, I do. I personally feel, Naomi, don't you feel like a black, dark-skinned girl's beauty, it has to work 10 times harder? Yeah. Not in a rude way, but I think there could be an average light-skinned girl that's just, cool.
I'll be so real, like, when you go into like spaces where there's guys or, everyone's looking nice, whatever, like, there could be like a mediocre ass light-skinned girl in the room, like, not even to be like, do you get what I mean? Like, let's be real, she's not that pretty. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's not, but she will still be above the prettiest dark skin.
Do you know what I think though?
Continue.
I feel like it's not always just colorism. I feel like it's sometimes just people. For example, there can be a beautiful woman who ain't got boobs and ain't got a fat ass, and the woman who's really mediocre with a fat bum and boobs will be the one that they get drawn.
True.
Because you know what it is? Sometimes we forget, like, it's people's preference. Like,
true.
Some people.
Do you know what it is though? The conversation at hand is colorism. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, like for me, it's like, it's just the fact of the matter, like, and it's
I get
go
what
on,
you mean.
babe. Yeah.
But I feel like what she's trying to say is that we always attribute it to colorism, but
But
also
sometimes there's other factors.
No, I completely understand that, but it's like I'm talking from experience, not from just talking.
I don't really talk on social like topics, but I saw someone say something online that trended, and I think she said, "Is that person pretty or
they just light skin
with curly hair?" And I just kind of felt like
it's not 2020.
it's almost like we're like insulting other people's like features that represent their race to feel super. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we can all agree
But sometimes
that there's a beauty chart.
Sometimes it is like she's actually just a lighty with curly hair.
and I feel like that's actually the harsh reality.
But when we're speaking about mediocrity, I'm just trying to understand, like, are we coming from it from a, like, that?
Everything's relative to the
number one, and I feel like I'm talking more in the aspect of like packaging, like you know when a girl looks good,
you can just
But
tell.
some girls they're so not too cute, but they
no,
can.
100%. But it's like I'm speaking like see me. I guess I'm not wearing makeup right now. I'm just on a casual. But when I want to dress, I will dress. Do you get what I mean? And look nice, So when I step into a room, I personally never feel anything because. Not to say I'm not above anyone, but I'm very confident within myself.
You should be.
Do you get what I mean? But it's like a lot of girls that are like me are not like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm not saying this in no type of way, please.
100%.
Do not even kill me. You are absolutely, like, I've been looking at you since we started. Your skin is stunning. Like,
thank you.
You are gorgeous.
Appreciate it.
Sometimes though, what if the person's just not that pretty?
Yeah.
To some people. And then some people base it off, like, she's really dark, that's why. But maybe she's just not that pretty. But there's literally light-skinned girls that I know that are just not that pretty, and the brown-skinned girls get more attention because they are that pretty. So I just feel like sometimes it's not just like skin color. You're just not that cute to someone, and then what can we do?
I feel like in terms of like attractiveness and skin tone and all that kind of stuff there, I think when my initial video about albinism got put onto like Instagram, more specifically, comments were more like, I never knew people with albinism could be pretty. And it's like,
what are you saying?
What are you actually saying?
Does that make sense? Like, in what world can that make sense? And I think it's one of these ones where people are so used to albinism being portrayed in like such one way. It's like bog standard, this is what it is. It can't look any particular way, and it's like there are so many beautiful girls with albinism.
There's this girl on TikTok, have you seen her? She's like American, she's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
she has like this puffy hair.
She's gorgeous.
She is so beautiful. So wow, pretty.
But literally, it was like, just because you're seeing albinism in one way doesn't mean it can look like, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's education though.
Exactly.
Like educate someone, or just be a decent human. In fact, just be a decent human being. It's not even education.
And I just feel like
it's just common sense.
The internet are not reality. They're so silly. Like, someone can die on the internet and they're gonna say something so stupid and insensitive.
Like,
and say,
like weird. I don't understand. Like, you can be any skin color and you can look like anything, and you can be
still be beautiful.
Like, I just feel like God he's looking at us thinking, I can't believe you lots have conversations like this. Like, you're all beautiful, you're all made in my image. Like, if I, like, you might not be someone's cup of tea, but you're someone else's cup of tea.
Yeah,
like, it's just, that is what
there's
it
a
is,
place for everybody.
Like, everyone has
So
space.
before we actually get into the segment of reverse colorism, let me just say the definition of colorism, which I should have done earlier, but anyways. So it's prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among the people of the same ethnic or racial group. So I don't think reverse colorism exists because you're not even the dark-skinned person. Say you have your own, because I can't belittle anything that you've gone through. But it's not...
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's wrong. I don't believe in that, innit? Because I just don't think... Colorism was... When we talk about colorism, it's affecting people that are darker.
So it's reversed now. So it's affecting light-skinned people. That's why it's called reverse colorism.
Okay, but I don't think...
Want them to feel like they can feel like...
I just don't think... I don't know. No. I just don't really think that is a thing, but I definitely feel like... Okay, so tell me...
So do you think that because basically like the impact that colorism has is so like is undescribable, so it just can't be reversed? Is that basically what the argument is?
Personally,
because in that sense I can agree with that.
Personally, that's my argument, and personally I feel like you guys probably face me, but not to the extent that
I can agree with that. But the point that I don't agree with that, I feel like a lot of women that a lot of black women have is like, it's almost like we compare our pain thresholds.
Yeah, right.
It's like you can't feel like this. Like, well, even if I said to someone like, oh my God, like, I don't know, like, what's something that I would say that I face because I'm like light skin.
Not
I don't
falling
know.
into any category.
Yeah, but I think that's even solely because I'm mixed race. But let me just think about the like the favoritism side. Not even the favoritism.
Like maybe she said you don't.
The favoritism side. No, like okay, cool. Like sometimes, yeah, when you know that you're favoritized or preferred. The fetish side that comes with that is actually scary. Like, it's over-sexualized
really
to the
good
point where, like,
that's a really good
I 5 people on my Uber, and as soon as I get in a ride, it tells them Steph's ride has started. Like, it's actually scary. Like, there's a lot of situations that have happened, and I'm not saying this for anyone to feel sorry for me, but it's like when I will voice my opinion of like what that over-sexualization on that or that fetish, like all the fetishing can lead to, it's almost like people are like shut up.
Okay, cool. When you say that, that's why I said maybe explain a situation you've been through, because I don't think I'm first.
I feel like the situation that's lived out is actually
That's
like
really...
it's scary. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's even in childhood, like when I like have had a conversation with friends and I say to them like, yeah, I was definitely like over sexualized as a child, just in general. Like whether that's like older men saying stuff like, oh, you're my little wife and stuff like, people are like, no, that's just because you're African. I agree that there's a segment to it that is cultural, but no one will be able to understand how much deeper it also is when you're of a lighter skin. It's like, it's so outspoken and it's so like trendy that it's normal, and it's like, it's actually scary.
You know what? That is actually really true.
Yeah.
I actually agree with because when I spoke
No,
because when I first thought, but I said I don't believe it, which I still don't. But I did say that I don't think. But I did say that I don't think that maybe your experiences are as much as ours. But you definitely still have experiences. Remember, I'm not a lighter, so I can't really speak for you.
100%.
But what you've actually said is true, because when you started this conversation, I said like lighter people, like aunties, were like, wow, they'll look at you like this amazing.
Yeah, but sometimes it's actually a bit weird. Like,
and you know,
it actually gets scary.
As I've grown up, as she has said that, as I've grown up, I've always found men. They might not be my direct family, but you know how us as Africans, everyone's family. I genuinely can say there are men that have definitely done some
dark stuff,
scary stuff.
But people are gonna say it's because of culture, like that happens to all children. Like obviously it's really dark, like, but then it's not normalized. But it's like it will automatically be taken away. And the counter argument that I say, I'm like, well, that's not fair, because if a dark skinned woman was to put forward her cross, I don't know, like her point, sorry, like the one we've been using today, and say like, I go to clubs, I go to spaces, and I don't feel accepted, and I was to come out and say that's because you wasn't on a guest list, your point you'll feel very invalidated in that point. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? That's how it feels for like light-skinned women. Like, although of course our experiences will never be the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, society has done that. Like, that's not one individual person's doing. That's society. That's years of indoctrination. That's slavery. That's so many things. And I feel like now that's why I made that point about actually being privileged enough to have conversations like this and being woke. Is like, we're still trying to nitpick at like, this matters, this doesn't matter, like you can't relate to this, you can. We all have experiences.
But then again, you're just a well-rounded person, you're smart, you've done that education. Not everyone thinks like
100%.
you. There's some people that look like you and Grace.
But in the same way that there's not a lot of dark-skinned women that think like you either. A lot of dark-skinned women actually, like, they display a lot of self-hate. Like, rather than actually growing confidence in themselves, they decide to favour towards the outward group. Do you get what I say? So the same way you're saying that to me, it's the same thing for you.
Yeah, it's true. That's actually true. That goes into my point about like social media and
100%.
stuff, because like I'm sure we all know like where we all get our news from. When they post certain things, wherever it could be a dark skinned girl, a dark skinned man with a light skinned woman, the comments, like, you know, when I see people comment on things, I'm thinking, I wish I could take their phone back. Like, why would you do that? Like, I find it so crazy, because I will never, even like debates on Twitter, I tweet MDTV and say thank God for a new week. You will never see me like, that's crazy to me. And I don't know if people, do you know, some people are just, they always want to fight a war. Like, you know them people, like, they speak on everything. Can never be me. If I had the message to girls that look like me,
the victim mentality.
Yeah, no, they must adopt that. But then, like, with me, I just see things and like,
but do you know why I feel like I have such a blasé attitude about this? Like, obviously it's important, but why I just have a bit of a blasé feeling about it, because it's just like, it's such a one side, other side. Like, people are always gonna have that side, and people are always gonna have that side. Do you understand that? Even if like a footballer gets with a light-skinned girl who has black in her, they're still gonna say something like, why isn't, like, that's why, for example, I stopped following like blog pages, because it's just like, like important opinions about people's lives. Like, you lot don't do nothing for no one's lives, and now you're sitting down underneath this page commenting, and now everyone's like saying, just laugh.
And I feel like that's just the black community.
Yeah, it's too much. It's exhausting.
Like, there's too much conversation about things that just personally don't really matter with
Not
that.
really.
Like, if you like you're a girl, I don't, you know, even when it comes to men, I feel like, yes, there are actually some men that would prefer a woman that's lighter. Okay.
Yeah.
Why we don't
They're
care?
not our preference.
You're not my preference
That's
anyway.
and
what people need to understand,
Be your type.
I will never in my
why would you want to be with somebody that wants to be with a white person?
I will never in my life speak to a dark man or speak to a black man that's never been with a dark skin, because I'm not going to be an experiment. Like, I don't believe in that. You're not going to try it out with me. I genuinely like people that look like me. I don't mind if you dated light skin white before, but if you've never had anyone that looks like me on your radar, there's nothing we need to talk about.
I said that to someone the other day.
And that's how it is. I'm not an experiment. You're not going to try me out and then, you know, and it would be very weird to me. But then this is what you get. I grew up in an all white, but some people, boys, they'll say they actually grew up in an area.
That's a bit close-minded.
No, but this is the thing. Can I tell you something? No,
I do.
I don't think.
But sometimes it can.
No, I think it is though. I feel like prevention is better than cure. So
like,
I'm not. Let me land. So for example, yeah, like I can meet a guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I'm talking to people or getting to know people, I wanna like know things about you. I'm nosy. I wanna see who you used to talk to and stuff like that. For example, let's say I met a guy and then all of his ex-girlfriends, all of the girls that he used to talk to, don't look like me at all. Let's say they're all light-skinned, or like 4 of them are light-skinned and 1 of them's white. None of them look like me. I promise you, sayonara. Because my thing is, you clearly have a type, and I don't fit into that category. I might be the one that might convert you or change you. Or,
I'll leave that to someone else.
But the thing is, I'd rather not like be in a situation where, because I feel like women, naturally as women, there's so much pressure on us, and we already have insecurities. Like, we were born with insecurities, and then, you know, sometimes we bump into people on the road who even like give us insecurities that we never knew we had. So I feel like for me, it's just like, okay, cool, like I'm not insecure in my skin color in any way. I'm beautiful. God made me, so I'm beautiful. Period. But then I'm now gonna speak to a man that doesn't talk to women that look like me, and the next thing you know, like he might not even be doing anything dodgy, and I'm here thinking, but you know what? Like, he likes girls that look like that, and he like.
And can I just say, that's what I'm saying. No, but that's what I'm saying.
What do you agree with?
I just don't agree with that. I feel like it's slow-minded, and I mean, sorry, not slow-minded. I feel like it's closed-minded, and I feel like it's also a way to harbour your insecurities.
Not
like,
really,
I feel like
that's
my
us not
opinion,
speaking to someone that has never been with someone.
I feel like you don't like love is love. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like to actually rule yourself off.
But you don't.
Okay, but then I'm not talking about. But you don't know. That's how people meet and then fall in love.
And that's how people meet and then really.
This is yeah, but that can happen even if someone goes for your that people. Let's not act like people don't go for their types and do the same thing to their type over and over and get worse and just keep going.
We're talking about, and that's because that's what I was trying to say with like the club, for example. You know how you said you wouldn't want to be in that. Like, if I've seen that all your girlfriends are light skin and I'm brown skin, like, or dark skin, I don't really want to be in that environment. Obviously, go to the club how you want to, but if I
the thing is, I can understand noting it. I can understand noticing it and making a note of it. Like, oh, okay, I'm different to what he's gone for. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I would look at that as almost like a compliment.
I think
like,
it's subjective though.
Yeah, maybe it is. I would actually.
Yeah.
I would think it's
That's so
subjective
crazy.
because, because
I
if this is your
like,
type,
I'm not gonna
if
go
this is
somewhere
your
that I don't
type, and then you're going for me,
do you know, I don't think it's a
why should
compliment.
I feel like I'm?
Because
Like, I might less than
then-
what you've gone for.
No,
Like,
no,
I don't
no,
know.
I don't think it's a compliment, because it might be a thing where like, oh, like, you know, when some people, it's basically saying that, oh, she's buff or a black girl kind of vibe. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's what it's given. It's given. If it's not a compliment to me, because in general you don't find people.
Or
that
maybe
look
he just
like
hasn't
me
had. Maybe they just haven't been
And
in
I
an
don't wanna
environment
change.
and come
I
across
don't-
someone like
Me
you.
personally,
I
I don't
can't
even
change
care.
that.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
I don't
what you
wanna change,
like,
yeah.
but I just need to feel.
But they like what
secure.
they like, and that's why they've come to you, because they like you. I feel like for you to
They don't
turn that
like-
down
Men come
because
to
you
people
look
because
at.
they want to come to people. They'll come to anything that has 2 legs and, you know, in between.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
fair
like, it's
enough,
not
but I
about
feel
that.
like if we're completely and solely making decisions based on someone's track record, then I don't
But
think
that's
that.
how you make like. That's how
It honestly helps you make informed decisions.
That's how you make decisions. Like, if
I'm
you,
not
if you
doing.
heard
I don't.
someone is
Maybe
X,
I'm
Y,
just.
and
You know what?
I don't-
I like-
Maybe I'm not scared of the fall. I don't know.
Oh, I'm scared. I can't fall again.
Maybe I'm not
I
scared
can't
of
fall
the
again.
fall.
I'm scared as hell. Sorry, I ain't
Heavy on
falling
that.
again. But
Heavy on that.
you know what? I feel like your mentality on it is actually kind of good. You're being open-minded. But I feel like in this situation, I don't know.
I just feel like I'm supporting myself. Like, you like me because I'm
But that
beautiful, and
doesn't
if
mean
you
that
don't,
I'm not- that doesn't mean I'm not secure.
I'm not saying that you're not secure. I'm just saying that my ideology on it is first and foremost that I am beautiful. I don't care who you have liked in the past. Like, if you like me, I don't think because you've liked people that are different to me, you cannot also like me
No,
on
but
that same
Stephanie,
level.
that's
if
not
not
Stephanie.
more.
You're missing the point. The point is that it's not that you've it's not that he's been with one light skin girl, one black girl, one brown girl, one Asian
He's
girl.
been. I get the point. He's been with only them, and now he's
Come
coming to you. Like,
Why?
I don't know.
because he wants something different. Like, what? You want to like?
No.
You can't
And
like
there's-
someone else because they're
You
not.
can like someone else, but I don't want you to like me.
What do you think? What do you think, Naomi?
I don't know,
I don't know, I feel
boy.
like it's relative. I feel like going back to what you said, it depends on the scenario, the situation, the time. It could be anything. I don't know. Maybe come back to me. I'll try to think of an example. But,
What you, Elena? Because they're killing me right now.
No, I feel like in that type of situation, me personally, I always kind of date on defense. So I'm always like, okay, cool. You've come to me in this particular way. For me, I'm aware that a lot of men might fetishize me for having albinism. That just does happen. It's happened to me before. So that's why I do date on defense. So cool. Every single situation that, you know, presents itself to me, I'm thinking, okay, cool. You've done this. You've done that. How similar was that to that situation? Okay, cool. There was a situation that I was in where a guy, like, the way he was moving, it was as if he was ashamed and embarrassed to be around me. Now that obviously then had its own effects on me. And then in my head, I wished that, like, okay, cool, I moved differently in the situation so I could prevent myself from being hurt in that way. So if I paid more attention to like past situations and how he was moving in comparison to other guys, maybe I wouldn't have been as hurt as I was. So.
Because you know what it is? Sometimes as well, like, you get very cheeky men. Like, I've actually not been with someone because I'm not confused about them kind of things. Like, I know what I want, yeah? Like, but I have friends or people that I know that will, like, as black women will do something and they'll open their mouth and say, yeah, but the mixed race girls will never do that. And I would never want to be with someone that's ever going to tell me in life, like, now, say we're in a relationship and you remind me that the girl who has the white mum, no shade, wouldn't do that. Why do you need to tell me that?
She's
I don't need to,
submissive.
do you understand that? Yeah, like, I don't need to hear your experience with that girl. And exactly, because you tend to like them kind of women and you're known to, like, even stupid stuff like a dog. I've actually heard a man say that, yeah, the black girls never got dogs in their house. It's only the mixed race girls that got. What are you saying?
Yeah. And I feel like stuff like that starts from early though.
Crazy.
And I don't want to be with no one who has a little mindset. Like, the black girls don't have dogs in their house. What do you mean?
What are you even
I
saying?
feel like what Stephanie was saying is more in like the aspect of like, if you meet someone and it's like you find out they've only been with white people and it's like, but you've met them and they're mad cool and they're like doing everything that like you want them to do and you're just thinking, rah, like what's this all about? But still in the back of your head you're thinking, you have never been with anyone that looks like me. Are you gonna self-sabotage or are you gonna just...
That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from like the little
what I
exchanges
see,
because you don't.
And
run
where
out
I'm
of
saying that I'm not even allow myself to be in it to find out.
Okay, no, but do you know
But
what
how
it
will
is
you
as
know
well?
straight away?
I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God, innit? Like, I'm just gonna say, like, if I can't sabotage anything God has for me,
Right.
if that man is supposed to be mine, somehow, some way, God will.
Yeah.
Because meeting someone
Do you know
that,
what I
that
mean?
is
Like-
cool when you lot are bonding and getting to know each other,
Yeah.
it's cool. But I'm talking about a certain type of group of
Yeah,
men.
yeah,
Like, you
let's
just
be
know,
real.
like, that kind of man, he likes a certain type
Yeah.
of woman, and out
And
of
you
the
don't
blue
fall in
now
that.
you like me.
Yeah.
I do not want.
I'm
to
not,
be,
and the thing is, you know,
yeah.
these men that these men that tend to go for whatever type of woman they tend to go for. I'm not saying they can't appreciate other women. They can.
100.
They really can. Like, trust me, they can. You'll meet them on a night out. You have a blast with them. Trust me. But it's just about what you're looking for and what you want from them, kind of thing. And I feel like just make sure you're aligned in it. That's all I can say. Like, whatever they want is what you want. What you want is what they want. Because you can have a good time with them. You can be friends. You can do whatever you want to do with them. But will it go to where you want it to go to, or where will it stop? Kind of thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I hope that makes sense. But yeah,
No, that does. Would you think that? Would you agree that there was like a rise in like dark skin becoming popular
Yeah,
and stuff? And like, how did that make you feel? Because quickly, remember like when we were younger, you know, people's colorist tweets always comes out. And it's so funny because there's obviously, as I said, colorism is within our own culture, but it's just like there was actually a period where being dark skin was, you had to have like really strong skin. Do you get what I mean? Because people were saying like, obviously if you're Ghanaian, there was this myth about looking in the like TV in the night. Do you know those things that was going around? Like people say, look, I can't see you midnight in the dark, or like you look like a TV when it's turned off and stuff. Like there was so many things that were going on when we were younger, and it's like when people's old tweets come up, it's just like, oh, why did they say that? But there was actually an era where people that look like you or just look, they'll be cussing you as well. Do you get it? So how did that feel then now having a society where like, all my chocolate queens, which makes me cringe, stuff like that? Like, how did you guys take that? Obviously, Naomi. But no, because I was talking about dark skin, innit? So, Stephanie's
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like it's it's funny. I don't know if you guys saw what Erica Mina said.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She
She
calls
calls
Spice
Spice a blue monkey.
A blue monkey.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Right.
But they took her off.
I feel like there's no justifying things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is that a curse? That's what took me. Like, and I feel like even when people were saying like when someone goes to hell, you go to hella, you go deeper. There's so many other things. Like a monkey, come on, that's a racial slur. Like going into that. Like, and I'm
Are you
actually
trying to say that like
she's
was
wrong for
intentional,
that.
yeah.
No, she's wrong for that. And I'm trying to say, I saw comments of people trying to say like, obviously Spice mentioned her kids, and if you go low, she's gonna go lower.
Do you know what it is? I just feel like, life is for living. Blast.
So I'm with you.
Like, I just feel like, honestly, I feel like,
But you know what?
Somebody please.
Because you know what? I'm with you on that. I'm 100% life.
Did you guys drink before this?
No, but you know what?
You must have had drank
You
something.
know what I've learned from this conversation and just life in general? It's because our life experiences are different. And
Yeah.
I understand that. Because, you know, even when you're talking about the light skin thing, I do, like, we definitely, as light skin women, we do go through certain things that are very
And I've never even
uncomfortable.
thought of it like
Do you
that.
understand? But, like, not that I know, but I could never imagine to put myself in her feet or your feet in what you went through as a younger age, because I've never experienced anybody tell me anything about the colour of my skin. I think I said it to Jasmine once, even when I'm around white people, I don't see the difference. Like, because I'm actually fair, and as I've been young, I've always been fair. So I've never felt uncomfortable around white people. I've never been in a room with white people and thought, I'm a black person. I know I'm a black person, obviously, but I've never felt that. So it's just that I feel like we're a bit like blasé about things because of how things have happened for us in life.
And
And I feel like you guys look
But the thing
particular,
is,
so
I
you're
can't-
very
I don't-
pretty girls,
and
sort of
That
thing.
part as well.
not to say like that's like an issue. I think like not to say like obviously be in the clouds, like bro. Like if you're in the cloud, like not saying that you're in the clouds, but it's like, do you get what I mean? Like just if it's not affecting you, not to say. I just feel like just more be aware.
But you know what
of
it is?
how it is for
That's the
others.
thing.
I don't. Do you know what it is? I don't know how I'm gonna articulate myself without sounding crazy here, but like these things probably could have affected me, but I just don't care.
And that's you as a person, because
Do you
you
get what I'm
the way
trying to
your
say? Like,
confidence.
No, it's
has
not
built
even.
up.
It's not even confidence. Like it's just like I don't know how to
But you know,
explain
is
it.
someone
Like,
bothering you about your skin colour comparing to someone bothering her
Yeah,
about her
like
skin
that
colour?
shit.
It's
Like,
different, no, of
it's
course,
unavoidable for her.
Like,
course,
even
of
if you have
course.
strong, thick skin, and I'm sure that Mariam and you have very strong, thick skin, but I just feel like,
If
say
you're having it
5
daily,
days in the week,
yeah.
like someone's constantly telling you that even if it doesn't phase you, you still have a different experience and different outlook on it.
And it's like it's from like experiences. Like there's so many experiences. You get what I mean?
Personally, I actually don't. When it comes to colorism, I actually understand light-skinned women have a privilege. A lot of mediocre light-skinned women have a privilege. A lot of beautiful light-skinned women have a privilege. A lot of beautiful dark-skinned women might be like ignored because of their skin color. It's a thing that's definitely true.
Right.
My thing is, I just feel like we need to stop trying to fix it in societies that were not made to accommodate it. Like, I feel like we need to fix it in real life situations.
It's in our society where it
so
starts,
like
But
stop.
then, sorry, with the fixing thing, like, I'm so sorry. This is not our land. It's not our world. It's first of all, naturally, we as black women, we are in the biggest disadvantage. First of all, we're women, and then we're black. Do you get it?
And then being dark.
And then we're black, and then
Lord,
we're actually
kill me
black.
now.
This is a man's world, and it's not even just a man's world. It's the white man's world.
Right.
So I just feel like we need to stop trying to fix it in spaces and create our own spaces. I feel like that's the only way it will thrive. But then, back to the issue, colorism is between us.
It's between us. So what I would want people to is just be aware that it exists and know that it exists and know that some people go through it and some people are, you know, they capitalize off it, or they're at the forefront of it, like benefiting it from it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why I was saying earlier, I definitely believe as a dark-skinned black woman, your beauty or you have to work 10 times, and that's in general. Even from when we're young in school, my mom would say to me, Miriam, study 10 times harder, because it's like getting into industries and stuff like that. Even forget dark skin, a black person in general, we're always going to be second. So for when you see black people in the high corporate, that's when you know that they're just sick with it. Like, you can't even say no to them. It starts from young. Your parents always say to you, you have to work harder, you have to do this. Even there's certain things we can't do because they'll say, oh, you're a loud black woman. Like, even there's times I'll go out, someone's probably trying to annoy me in the room. I'm thinking, if I react now, they're going to call me. So I even try to avoid it because I don't even want to live up to the stereotype that's there for me. So my thing is just, you know, accept that it's real. And if you don't educate yourself on it, but then again, just go where you're celebrated, wherever that be relationship, whether that be in industries, go where you're celebrated. It is unfortunate that we can't just say people need to work on it, because not everyone's gonna listen to what we're saying. People might still listen to this and be like, well, I don't care. I still like what I like.
Yeah.
Do you get
If
it?
you want to go in environments where like you may not be celebrated highly, just make sure you're patterned when you're going to them places.
Right.
And
literally.
also, I feel like as people that are victims of colorism or have like experienced colorism, I feel like obviously naturally you're gonna feel upset, naturally you're gonna be aggravated, naturally you're gonna be irritated. But just make sure you direct your irritation and your upset and your anger to the right place.
Yeah, and please don't be bitter.
And can I quickly go off a point that you just made with the right place, yeah? Because why I'm so happy that we're having this conversation is not only just to bring colorism to the surface level, because I do believe that we know, like, I would like to believe that conversations that have taken place, people do believe that colorism is a real thing, but you just made the perfect sentence entry for me to come into when you said direct to the right place. And I feel like because of colorism, sometimes when it's directed, it is directed to the light-skinned person.
Yes.
And that's the reason why I actually reached out to you, because my thing is, I've grown up seeing black women at my forefront. And I'm not talking just about black women by race. I'm talking dark-skinned women. Like, my mum's black. My aunties are black. My closest friends are black. I don't have one white friend. That's just because of my socialization. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it is a sad feeling when I feel like because of the movement and because of like, I don't know, feeling like you should direct it somewhere, I feel like my race in which I belong to or how I identify is attacked. And it's like, we're meant to be coming together. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like, it sounds like all rainbows and lilies, because like in the ideal world that probably, I hope it happens, but it's just, it is sad.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Do you know what I mean? It is sad.
I don't think she'd be like, if I was to give advice to anyone, like, you don't need to attack someone else.
Like, because it will happen. Like, literally, people will make videos now, and in order to uplift a dark-skinned woman, it's like you have to put down like people be like, oh my god, the dark-skinned girl, get the other girls out of the video, and it's just like.
And I feel like our society as well just makes anything. Like, I saw some girl on TikTok who is mixed race she said something about her hair. About because I have straight hair.
Yeah,
you know,
everyone was like,
they were roasting. What do you mean? Because you have.
Oh my god, Stephanie, I'm so happy you said what you said, because even like even when you talk about things like, you know what I hate when dark skinned people try to like occupy. For example, music videos, where's the dark skinned girls? Can you guys shut up? Like, even if they don't, we don't like shut up. Like, why do you even want to be there?
No, obviously, a media representation, they want that. I think the point that if the thing is, that's why when you was talking about reverse colorism, I made sure we clarified exactly what that means, because I feel like even just being a light-skinned woman or being mixed race, like even in my career, so I deal with black hair, like I'm a black hairstylist, and some of the stuff that I have experienced, the minute a client finds out that I'm mixed race, it's like, one time I was straightening a client's hair, she literally took her hair like this and like started smelling it right after I told her that I'm mixed race. It's like, are you trying to tell me that I'm not educated to do your hair? Do you know what I mean? Or like, are you sure you use heat protector? Like, just stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And my friend that I work with, I feel like she sees it like on the forefront. She just
I don't think you're qualified.
I actually hate this for you. Like almost like, it's almost like the minute that is, I don't know, like not even just don't think I'm qualified. It's almost like, it's like, how can you be pro-black and that you're trying to make me feel beautiful, but you probably can't relate to my struggles? Like, that's the vibe I get sometimes. And it also almost makes me feel like I'm enjoying this, you know, like I'm making you feel beautiful. I feel blessed to be doing this for you, with you. But it's almost like, going off of what Jasmine said in regards to like where to direct your energy, you're putting it at the wrong place, darling, because I didn't choose this. Do you know what I mean?
I think yeah, that's a very good point. I also feel like, just take pride in your appearance. I think that, like, obviously don't get it's not taken away from the fact that, you know, we're talking about colorism here, but I feel like it's very important to, like, I don't know, I feel like, did you see yourself before, like, you left, like...
you know what, thank you.
No, like...
People think the place is looking crazy and you're getting in.
You know,
you guys are killing me, yeah.
Yeah, like, take pride in the way that you look, because I feel like if... My stance is, I look good, I feel good. Do you get what I mean? And it's like, as long as you feel that, I don't feel like there's much. Obviously, there's external factors, but it's one of the biggest factors, you know. So it's like, yeah, man.
No, I totally agree with you, and I'm so happy that you actually spoke on it, because I do see a lot of like discourse on Twitter. I don't comment, but I do see like a lot of people always actually attack lighter skinned women. I'm just thinking, like, leave them alone. At the end of the day, you can have your opinion, but you don't need to like make it seem like, because you didn't choose it. I didn't choose it.
And I want to make it very clear as well that today we spoke about colorism, and at the forefront of colorism is to also understand dark skinned women's like all the struggles that they go through, their experiences, etc. But I also think that it's actually really important for us to like come together and actually like what we're gonna do about this, not like shoot the gun. Do you know what I mean? I just think that it's actually
one thing I wanted to say it earlier, like when we first started talking, because remember we was talking about at someone else's expense, the privileges, like being pretty privileged or light skin privilege or dark skin whatever privilege it is. I don't think the privilege means that, oh, I think I'm better than you. It's just that I know that certain people think
Some people might think that I'm better than you.
Certain people might think I'm better than you, but I'm gonna use it to my advantage because there's always an advantage.
Without hurting.
Like, for
without
example,
harming anyone.
Yeah, without harming you, and I'm not thinking.
Well, not intentionally, yeah,
not intentionally. I'm just using it to my advantage because I'm not gonna lie. That's what we all do. Like, for example, a good example would be like in a workplace, for example. Let's say like there's a spot that they're trying to fill up, but they want someone of an ethnic minority. Yeah. And they know that.
That's actually cool.
And they know that. So then everyone's now come in. They've just like there's 3 white people, there's 4 black people. At my advantage, I am black. I'm more likely to get the job because they're trying to fill a quota.
That's actually.
You know what? This is actually an interesting point. I made this point, when I was talking to one of my friends, and I basically said, like, are we mad at privilege or are we mad at who the privilege is going to? Simply because when you spoke earlier about like since like the black movement has been trending as being more accepted, you're right in what you just said. A lot of I don't know the actual corporate term for it.
It's a quota.
It's a quota. Like they actually have a responsibility to show diversity on their rota. But it's like in that. Like people do put themselves forward and say, I want this job. They don't say, oh, I'm not coming here because I'm standing my ground. Like you lot don't want me for real. Yeah. Like you only want me to make your company look good. So I don't want your job. No one's saying that. You're taking the privilege and you're going and getting that job because in that corporate field you are representing yourself. Do you know what I mean?
It's definitely about like not the privilege. It's about who's giving it to. Because
it's not me.
Like if you're in a group of people and they say everyone born in June, come to the front.
You're gonna go.
What am I gonna say? I'm in June. You're in August. Let me stay with you. Let me stay. It's not happening.
You know what? You guys have actually said that's actually true. It definitely is where it's going to. But my thing is just I'm so big on mindset in it. Yeah. So I would hate for someone to act something you're actually thinking that you're better. I don't like stuff like that.
No one should.
But this whole debate for me is that there's actually certain people that feed off of that or stuff like that. I think there was even a TikTok these light skin girls saying, well, did you see it? They were talking about being light skin. I was thinking, why is it? It's not a personality trait. Like it's a thing. But then again, it's kind of hard. Can you say to yourself like, remember, like light skin Keisha. Her name. People are like, why is her name light skin Keisha? Mm-hmm. But then someone said if a girl called themselves dark skin Rhoda, I just feel like no one's gonna complain.
You know what? I've seen people be like, oh, like I love being just be happy. And I feel happy. I love being brown skin.
I love being black.
Dark skin, and
I'm happy everyone said this because if I said right now, prior to this conversation, if I came on the panel, look, can we all just be honest? If I sat down on this chair and said, I love being light skin, like would it have that same sort of effect like how you just said it now?
I know you.
Take from that and take it.
Yeah, but we know you.
Thank you. I know, but this is what makes it. Forget the fact that you guys know me though.
And you know what I mean? Definitely because it becomes it's from a history of like light skin being seen as the best and so some people are still trying to do some healing. It's just like
you weren't even there.
So I can't love myself because it triggers you.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying you, but that's the point you just said.
Some people kind of they're not so secure with themselves. I wouldn't care what any light skin. I might just say hello.
So then can we accept the fact that like it is wrong and the reason why it hurts people is because that individual themselves may
not be happy within themselves.
Very quickly. But imagine a white person saying, "Oh, like I just love being white."
But you know what? There was.
But why? Why do they love being white?
So why do people love being black?
Because if you ask a white person, would you want to be black? They're always gonna say no.
Okay, so there's a woman. There was a TikTok.
Yeah, that lady, that black lady, that white lady.
Yeah. And I feel you, sis. I wouldn't want to be. Yeah. Gosh, I don't want to be white or nothing. Like big them up or whatever. Yeah. But I'm saying her point was valid. Like I do not want to be.
It was a sticky one.
And I understand why she said that.
Because they know what we go through.
We wouldn't want not want to be black.
Like if we had to decide,
we don't mind being black, but wait,
I think that what actually why we interpret being white in comparison to being black. Like, do you not think that white people have their own features and their own identity?
I didn't want to speak on that too much only because it's not.
It's not about that. Yeah, that's not even.
Yeah, I don't want
that. No, but I feel like it's relative because a white person saying I love being white in the United Kingdom, of course you do. But if you're in Nigeria, you're not gonna say I love being white because you're around all these Nigerians who this is their land and do you know what I mean? It's relative. That's it. That's relative.
This conversation has been one of the hottest conversations, and I expected it to be.
No, we need a part 2.
You guys have really spoke, and I honestly appreciate everyone's opinion. At the end of the day, I have light skin friends, I have brown skin friends. and love yourself. Like, I don't look at myself and think, oh my gosh, why is this person likes to know, because we're growing and stuff like that. So everyone should love themselves, love their being. But I'm so happy we can have this conversation because our experiences are totally different, literally.
Definitely.
But what's, at least maybe just before we wrap up, like 1 or 2 things you would say to anyone who's having difficulties with like probably accepting themselves with their color, and in our what do you want to say to basically our community when it comes to this topic about colorism, featureism, every texturism? Yeah.
Obviously, I said earlier, just, try and stay away from comparison. I feel like that it will be a huge or a very good starting point. Learn to love yourself. Obviously, it sounds very cliche. Do things that make you feel beautiful. Do things that make you feel appreciated. Go where you feel appreciated. Be around people that affirm your beauty. I'm not saying be around yes men, but realistically be around yes men. If you have certain friends that make you feel ugly, then don't be around them. Because I feel like growing up as a young girl, sometimes you might be around certain people that make you feel less pretty or whatever it is. Like, we all want to feel beautiful. So yeah, and that's my advice. Just love yourself and talk to God. God, you're made in God's image, so there's no way that you cannot be beautiful. Like, you are beautiful.
I feel like because we spoke on colorism, I want to hear Naomi.
Oh, thanks. I don't know. I think going off, I'm so bad.
Jasmine.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, like, going back to what I said of just taking pride in the way you look, like, it's just so important. Like, it seems like it's such a surface level thing to say, but it's like, as I said, when you look good, you feel good. And like, obviously, colorism, to me, it's a huge issue. I wouldn't say like to myself personally, because like, I don't know. Sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent right now. But obviously, growing up, it's like I was a pretty dark skinned girl. I was always told that, oh, you're so pretty for a for a dark girl. Like, do you get what I mean? So I was always very much like, what? Like, what's going on? Do you get? But I think for girls that are not as confident as I am, it's difficult, but just keep pushing. Like, just do everything you can to make yourself feel comfortable within yourself. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can't lay in bed depressed and like, you ain't, not to say you need to do your lashes or your hair, but just do the things that make you feel nice, That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Elena.
I would say, like, kind of coming off of what you said, in terms of like bringing yourself into like your oneself and all that kind of stuff, I would say healing isn't linear. You are going to have your up days, and you definitely are going to have your down days. So kind of, making sure that you're aware of that. You'll get there in the end, but, making sure it is going to be up and down and up and down.
Thank you guys so much. I've actually really enjoyed this. So I know we got heat that time, but we're humans, and it's just like, we all have our different opinions, but I'm so happy you guys came. And
can I just say one thing to the girls though?
Yeah.
Guys, if you're in no, I don't want to say it like this. I just want to say like a finishing thing. Not finishing thing. I mean, I just want to say like what I've actually taken from this is that people need to always just remember that there's A and there's B. Like, there's good people, there's bad people. So like, whatever environment you're in, just remember that there's actually bad people and there's good people. There's always people that are gonna try and make you feel uncomfortable, and there are people that are gonna make you feel comfortable. So that's why I tend to have such a blasé attitude to things, because your opinion doesn't matter. Like, when I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing people's opinions and I get annoyed, and I remember this is made for that. Like, they are actually on this platform to do so. Literally. So just live your life happily, enjoy it, be where, like you said, be where you're celebrated, be where it's important, and never actually, when you're around a woman, because like we said, being a woman is so hard. So if you're around a woman and you see colorism happening, or you see something where a woman is being put down, just actually be that woman that could invite your friend or invite that woman to be in a comfortable space.
Yeah, that's actually so true. And I think that's the perfect way of ending and wrapping things up. But I'm so happy.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.